All the people with him, they've done a tremendous job the last few years. As nice a racetrack as we go to, tremendous job building this place up.
Now, one lap down cars are coming onto pit road this time, and Jeff Gordon will be the race leader when we go back to the restart.
They had a great pit stop.
Mike, we got Jeff Gordon leading the race right here. He changed 2 tires. We've been seeing everybody go with 4. This is the first time we've seen somebody try the 2-tire change. We'll have to see if it works out.
13th race that Jeff Gordon has led this year.
Well, I'm sure they're looking at track position more than anything else. If they lose a few spots from the start here, at least they're further up in the racetrack than they were when they was back in their 14th, 15th spot.
He's not going to lead for long. He drops down to the inside to shut off Mark Martin, but Martin's going to dive it in anyway in turn 3.
Yeah. 4 new tires will outrun 2 new ones anytime. They must have been going for track position like Buddy was talking about.
You think all these cars are going to be painted black next year?
They can't do that, Doug.
Well, it's been the way to be up front.
Well, I know one that'll be a nice, pretty paint this year. Congratulations, Neil.
Thank you, buddy.
We look forward to watching you next year run some.
Yeah, run a few races. Looking forward to it.
Neil's going to run 6 races in the country time car. They're going to run a limited schedule and start with the Daytona 500, and you're going to get to run at Indianapolis.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's a big thing. I wanted to go to Indy, so we put the program together. James Finch, some help from the 4-car and 3-car, and we're going to see if we can run some races.
And the car is going to be pink lemonade?
Yeah, and I'll have you a little pink suit probably. I'll be ready.
Oh, you're going to be so cute.
Oh, thank you.
You're going to look like the Energizer Bunny. They give you a pink suit.
I might get energized.
That's Jeff Gordon's crew chief, and Ray, the car seems to be backing up a little bit. Is it because of the decision to only change 2 tires, or you got a problem?
No problem. It's exactly what it is. We chose to take 2 tires. We needed to lead the race and hope for track position. Our car's pretty good on 4 tires. I think we'll be all right. We're going to slide back a little bit, but it's still early yet.
He's right. It's very early. He's got a lot of time.
Stats we have show that if Rusty would win the race and Earnhardt would finish 19th or worse, the point lead could change. Oh, Jeff Gordon. In the fence. Caution flag. Kyle Petty, first super speedway race he has led since Talladega in July.
You know, that was a smart thing there. The 2 cars know the yellow come out.
Axle's out of Jeff's car, it looks like.
Well, that looks like you might knock the track bar off of it too, Mike. You know, that rear track bar. Yeah, it is. Track bar is broken off.
You see the car drifting around there. Nothing to hold back in together there.
Yeah,
that body's trying to move around.
The bar centers up the body and the frame on the rear housing, and it's just broken off. Ooh, me, sideways coming at you.
Is that what a sports car type's called, pannered rod?
Yeah, pannered bar.
Okay, just checking.
Okay, if you sports type out there, it's the pannered bar broke off the rear of this car. I tell you, talk about a mean thing to try to get back. It's like driving a hook and ladder truck and you don't have the steering wheel.
My daddy says that looked like a country dog going to town there.
Oh, it's a shame, man. And we were just talking before, that points, he's right in it.
Yeah, he's 11th in the points, just behind Ricky Rudd and just ahead of Harry Gant.
Been talking about the 3-car, had some push in it all day. In fact, pushed right up, got right inside of it.
Wow. That's a bad break for Jeff Gordon. He was running so well.
I'll tell you, that was a quick move by Bobby Labonte there.
Yeah, because, I mean, all he had to do is stack in the back of there, and about 15 more to get them.
Gordon has gone to the garage. And they are pitted pretty far away.
It's going to take a while for him to get to the garage to work on the car.
Jeff Gordon waiting patiently in his car. Jeff, what happened to you?
I don't know. You know, the 3 cars, myself were racing, and really, I know he's going for a championship. I'm not going to try to stop him. I mean, I was falling back. He clearly got underneath me, and for some reason, he got in my left rear. I don't know what happened, but sent us to the wall, and he's still out there.
The car is just damaged in the rear panhard bar. As soon as they get that fixed, Jeff will return.
They had a long run from the turn 1 end of pit road back to the garage area to get Jeff Gordon fixed. Several calls on our 800 line. We'll give you that number again. Toll free, it's 1-800-451-7331 if you have a question. And there have been a lot of them about Stanley Smith, the driver who was injured at Talladega. As we watch this race between Hut Strickland for 12th place, Dick Trickle, Morgan Shepherd, and Ricky Rudd. But Stanley Smith is at home. He goes to Lakeshore Rehabilitation Hospital in Birmingham in the morning, rehabbing for muscle injuries sustained from his head injuries, and he works with his family business in the afternoon. Stanley Smith is well on the way to recovery, and certainly we all wish him well, and we're glad so many fans are concerned about it.
You bet on that.
Dale Earnhardt just went past Kenny Schrader. Reported he's got a little toe-in problem, and it may have been from either a bump with Kenny Schrader here. This was right near the beginning of the race. Lap 5.
I'll tell you what, if they've got a toe-in problem, that's not something you can fix in a hurry. And when they're worried about track positioning and finishing this race, when they start messing with that toe-in, it's going to cost them some time.
Could have been that, or Earnhardt also got into the side of Jeff Gordon.
Yep.
Gordon's car is in the garage being worked on at present.
Goes the end of the season. Maybe might be something they could correct, but Rusty Cobb said he thought his valve could be what Buddy said.
Whatever it is, he's off the pace quite a bit.
Yep. Jeff Gordon is back in the race. Ray Evernham's crew took 46 minutes and 23 seconds to repair the damage on the car of one of the leading rookie contenders. Wally Dallenbach, former Trans Am champion, brings out this caution. It is the 8th one of the day at lap 239. Now here's a new one. Derek Cope got a stop-and-go penalty after his green flag pit stop. Crew chief Bob Johnson got into a shouting match with a NASCAR official, and you can't win those, so he earned a stop-and-go penalty for that car.
For the crew chief?
Yes. Combination of drive, intensity, guts, and hyperactivity. Mark Martin all combined in any other race driver.
Mark's a small guy. He worked on his body. He built it up.
Glenn?
Well, Mike, I asked Steve Mill about how much horsepower that would cost him. He said it's hard to say here because the track's so slick. He said it really doesn't bother him that bad to lose that power. It may have been power they couldn't use anyway, so they're really not too concerned about it right now. They think Mark can hold him off.
Well, I just about go along with that because what I'm seeing right now, because I'll tell you the only thing I see could possibly happen. That 28 really got his tires hot doing that. He might cool him down, buddy, and make another run in a minute.
Good point, Neil. That's what he's doing. He's sitting there right now cooling the tires, and Mark's checking out on him. He better not cool too long.
But there's only 20 laps to go.
I tell you what, though, once you slip those rear wheels like that, you go down to the next corner, and it feels like you're on ice.
Steve Meal, closest to the camera. Jack Roush, the car owner. Steve will leave that team at the end of the season, go over to Hendrick Motorsports, where he will oversee all of Rick Hendrickson's Cup race teams.
I tell you what, Mark Martin just called back. He said, I want to know how many laps to go each lap. You count it down for me.
And a word to one man who's had a lot to do with Ford's Winston Cup success of late. Michael Krampus, the worldwide head of racing of motorsports for Ford, retires tomorrow. Looks like he may get a nice little send-off gift with the victory here.
Jeff Gordon's accident in practice destroyed his primary car, and he too was forced to a backup.
Get the car to turn, but it won't happen. The car will back up, but he cannot turn the car and move it ahead to clear Ernie Irvin.
That's just the way it goes sometimes. Everybody at Robert Yates Racing deserves a lot better than this. And, you know, they deserve to win that championship this year, and the fans have been great. It just wasn't meant to be.
Bill Elliott comes off the fourth corner. He wins the Hooters 500. But Alan Kowicki is coming off of corner number 4, knowing that he's winning the championship. There's the checkered flag for Alan. He's the champion for 92.
I'm sure Kowicki's going to do something spectacular. Let's see.
Remember his first win at Phoenix? He took what he called, and these are his words, a Polish victory lap.
Yep.
And guess what? He's going to do it again.
This truly is a dream come true. I hope that in the year to come I will be a good representative. I hope that when 1993 is over that people at Winston, the people at NASCAR, and the competitors all look back and say, we were proud to have him represent us as our champion.
Thank you, Bob. Actually, it could be called a tale of three cars. You know, Dale's dad, Ralph Earnhardt, couldn't be here to see his son be so successful, so it's seemingly appropriate that an associate sponsor by the name of Mom and Pops would pay the freight for a third race car to be here in Atlanta. Neil Bonnett has an identical Chevrolet Lumina starting back in 35th spot. Why? If this car doesn't crank, Dale will jump out of this car, run back and jump into that one that's been set up for him, and try to win a championship. Now let's talk to the possible six-time champion. And Dale, it's a 126-point margin. How do you play it today?
Lineup, you'll see a lot of cars. Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte in 15th, 16th row. Look at Neil Bonnett, Rick Wilson back in the 18th. Mark Martin in row 17, and Sterling Marlin. There we see Dolan back row 19 along with Dave Marcus, T.W. Taylor in row 20, Kenny Wallace, and look, the provisional, Kyle Petty and Hut Strickland. So great race cars all the way through.
Jerry, another Childress car that was piloted by Neil Bonnett. He's pulled it into the garage area. They've run a few laps. They're going to sit it down in the garage area, and we'll have some parts on it just in case they run into trouble that they could potentially switch. So, in order to help a fellow Chevrolet team, we told you Darrell Waltrip's crew is having a problem getting here. Dale Earnhardt, Busch Grand National crew, Tony Uri and the gang, we're going to pit for Bonnett today. They have come into the Western Auto pit, and they will be doing the pit stop. Now, Barry Dodson, the crew chief for Darrell Waltrip, who normally runs the jack, is going to stand on the sidelines this afternoon and watch this team pit the car because he doesn't want to upset their rhythm. Let's go back down pit road to Jerry Potts.
And John, that 31 car that's now in the garage area is set up not for Neil Bonnett, but for Dale Earnhardt. It has the springs, the shocks, it has Earnhardt set up. That's why Bonnett didn't qualify that well. The car is set up exactly how Dale wants it, so if they need to pull the car apart, they will have to change nothing at all, just put it on the primary car.
For second place, the battle is between Bill Elliott and Jeff Gordon. This is Jeff's kind of racetrack. He won some Grand National races here, and many people are thinking that perhaps this guy could win today.
He ran awfully strong here in the spring. In fact, almost won this race. It got down to a gas mileage award. Morton Shepherd won the race, but he was very, very strong. He and Rusty Wallace were the class of the field that day after Mark Martin went out.
Will more than likely earn Rookie of the Year honors. Dale Earnhardt appears to be back up to speed as he has passed Ted Musgrave.
After Jeff Gordon, you know, if you believe what you read, I've never asked Rick Hendrick this, but what they say in the racing papers that here in Atlanta is where Jeff Gordon was hired by Rick Hendrick. He walked down the corner and watched this kid drive a Busch car through the corners and said, I've got to have him drive for me because he has no fear whatsoever.
Right now he's driving that Winston Cup car pretty well through the corners. He's battling Elliott for second position.
As well. Whichever finishes in front of each other, Ford or Chevrolet, will win the manufacturer championship this year.
There you see Schrader, Jeff Bodine, Bobby Hillin, plus two others, Brett Bodine and Neil Bonnett, are not out of the race. Bonnett is shown as out of the race, but they are at least behind the wall and could be out of the race for the rest of the event. Jeff Gordon continues to hang on to second place. You know, each year, McDonald's awards $50,000 to three drivers that are chosen by the fans. Who are they? Well, the two championship contenders, Earnhardt and Wallace, and the third member of the all-star team from McDonald's is Jeff Gordon.
What a tribute to that young man to be named by the fans to that all-star team, McDonald's all-star team.
Immensely popular young driver.
He is that.
Boy, what a future he has ahead of him.
Yep.
He's got it all. A tremendous amount of talent, good looks, articulate.
And a heck of a race car driver, and he's driving a good car.
Yes, sir. Got it all.
Jeff Gordon, who again is in his backup car because of the crash on Friday, now the third, and Ernie Irvin is right there.
And as we watch that, Harry again just past Sterling Marlin, and her investors scored another guy who...
And maybe while we're on that type of subject, did you talk to Stanley Smith? Wasn't he here on
I saw Stanley Smith Friday. Got in the garage here. You know, the guy who had that terrible crash down in Talladega in May. He came to the racetrack Friday, shook hands with me, and we talked a little bit, and he's doing great.
That is just great to see him back at the racetrack. Jeff Gordon, as we indicated, will more than likely be chosen Rookie of the Year. He has been the top rookie finisher in 15 races this year. Bobby Labonte has been the top finisher in 8, and Kenny Wallace in 6. So that much heralded season of 3 top rookie contenders has certainly panned out that way. Here's Jeff once again, and off corner number 4, a good run. This time he'll be able to pull alongside of Rusty at the line. Jeff is going to lead that lap. Yep. And didn't you have some conversation with Steve Neal today?
I talked to Steve Neal, and he's moving over to the Hendrick people. What's his title, Ned?
Director of competition or something like that.
Or Rick Hendrick, all 3 cars.
Now the 28 car has gone a lap down, so and Jimmy Spencer, they were 2 of the cars that had gotten.
And Gordon spins.
Up in turn what?
And it looks like he hit the left side of the car pretty good.
Turn 4 it is. He crashed in practice in turn 4, and he has hit the wall again in that location. And yeah, there is damage to the left rear of that car. The net goes down, and Jeff begins to climb out, and it's going to bring us to our 7th caution period of the day.
And puts Harry again back on the lead lap. He'll be back in contention here.
Yep, you're absolutely right. So don't count Harry out of this thing yet.
And the 41 car also got a lap out. So
pit road is closed right now while we get the pace car out there. Jeff Gordon is moving around inside the car and appears to be okay, but again, this is quite a disappointment for Jeff because he had, without question, a top 5 car today. May have been in contention for the win, although he had begun to drop back in the last few laps. And here's a replay.
No way to know what caused the accident to start with because we're on it right at the end. I don't think
he was running in 7th position.
Jerry, what do you got on Jeff?
Remember a minute ago, Ray Evernham told us that they did nothing to the car other than put tires on it, but Jeff said the car had gone away and was dog walking, basically wiggling up and down the racetrack, and Jeff was just fighting the steering wheel to hang on to it. All they can surmise right now is possibly something broken up in the front of the car. The car was very unstable on the track, and Jeff was simply fighting it, and obviously he lost the fight here just a moment ago.
Well, Jeff has had a great year. We announced earlier that he has made the McDonald's All-Star team. That's worth $50,000. He has had 7 top 5s, including 2 seconds this year, but also 11 DNFs, and that's what he will have today. Here's an in-car shot of what happened up in front of Lake Speed.
There, just running by himself, and all of a sudden the back end just goes around on him.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody close to him. No.
Jeff Gordon won himself a pole this year as well.
Yes, he did. He was Flash.
I wondered who he was mad at as he walked towards that wrecker. I mean, you could tell he was just mad at somebody, wanted to punch him right in the nose.
Yep.
Himself.
Right. Yep.
Tough race. Tough race.
We realign the field again for a restart.
We're going to make pit stops first, Bob.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, they've had pit road closed until they get Jeff's car out of the way. If they're
Please pay attention.
Why do we have to use pit stops? Keep racing. John Kernan has Jeff Gordon.
With a very disappointed Jeff Gordon, I might add. He has to make sure you get the sponsor hat on there. So apparently you didn't take too big of a knock in the head. You can still remember that. You're okay, though, right?
I'm not anywhere sure I wasn't already from when I wrecked the other day. I mean, just pretty disgusting right now. I have no idea what happened. The car was running good. We had a set of tires that was very loose, and I was just trying to hang on till the next pit stop. I don't know if we cut a tire or what. I mean, the thing just went just like it did in practice, so I'm pretty upset right now.
Yeah, but Rookie of the Year should take a little edge off of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to know and I'm happy about it, but at the same time, you want to end the season on a good note. This is a good track for us with a good opportunity here today, and it's just all gone now.
Well, guys, I think if you remember correctly, last year at this very race, Jeff made his first Winston Cup start. I believe he had a tough day there, too, where crashed out of that race, too, Bob.
Well, there will be good days for Jeff Gordon ahead. You can count on that.
Guys, kind of tiptoeing right now. There is some rain. Belly comes off the corner high again. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace is the leader.
Rusty Wallace comes off the corner, takes the checkered flag, and wins the Hooters 500. And the celebration in the Miller Genuine Draft Pit. Rusty Wallace wins his 10th Winston Cup event of 1993 and the 31st of his career, but there is also celebration in the GM Goodwrench Richard Childress Dale Earnhardt pit as Earnhardt has won the 1993 NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. He wins it at 42 years of age. Richard Petty continued to compete for 17 years after winning his 6th title. Imagine how many championships Dale could achieve if he continues to race until the year 2010, which is 17 years from now.
Now, are both these guys going to do victory laps? Here comes Billy Wilburn with a flag for Rusty. 28th flag.
That carries the 28.
And look here. And look, Earnhardt has the 7th flag.
All right, that's neat. A fitting tribute to the two tremendous race drivers that we lost this year, Alan Kowicki and Davey Allison. Victory lap that Alan Kowicki was so famous for. His flag is being carried by Dale Earnhardt, the champion. Davey Allison's flag is being carried by the winner of the race, Rusty Wallace. The crowd is cheering and waving in happiness, but you know that in many eyes there are tears.
We talked to Rusty Wallace a moment ago. People are saying he's the man to watch for next year. But how about this young man, Jeff Gordon, 1993 Rookie of the Year, possibly a championship run in 94. But first, let me talk about this past year. Congratulations on an outstanding effort.
Well, thanks a lot, Jerry. It was a pretty good year for us, so we're real happy. I mean, this was obviously a goal of ours to set, and we couldn't have done it without a lot of strong people behind us. And I think to me, it's just more than a dream come true just to run Winston Cup racing and be involved with somebody like Rick Hendrick and to have the guys that we've got behind us there at Hendrick Motorsports. So, just knowing that, and then to come in here and win Winston Cup Rookie of the Year is just the icing on the cake. It's really been a great year.
Was Daytona the biggest moment of the year, starting out the season with the great qualifying run down there in efforts and then top 5 in the 500?
I would definitely say so. I mean, I didn't win anything all year except for that. I would say the pole was right up there with that. I go on my emotions and the way I felt, and I've never been so excited as to when we won that Twin 125 and also the pole at Charlotte. Those two are definitely the highs of the year.
Well, Jeff, the last driver to win Rookie of the Year and in the championship in back-to-back years, he's being honored tonight. Dale Earnhardt, and a lot of folks are saying, including Earnhardt, that you could be the next one to do it. Good luck to you in 1994.
Well, I appreciate it. It's going to be pretty tough to do that. There's a lot of tough competition in Winston Cup racing today, but we're going to give it a good shot. I think that there's a lot to come from our team in 1994.
That's Jeff Gordon. The
racing season is over. The NASCAR flag waves above the New York City skyline, calling drivers not to compete, but to celebrate and honor now six-time NASCAR Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt. The night reminds us that two who were part of the celebration last year are absent tonight, having taken their final checkered flag during the 1993 season. We cannot begin tonight without remembering Davey Allison and Alan Kowicki, to whom we dedicate tonight's telecast.
They knew no better feeling than coming under that checker flag first.
For every autograph signed, for every smile from a fan, they knew they were doing the right thing.
We know how they felt.
Every once in a while, someone comes along into the sport that changes it forever.
There was no fear when they were in the race car, only exhilaration.
Once you've been out alive, nothing comes close.
They drove with pain, but it only made them focus more clearly on their goal.
They never felt more invincible than when they completed that perfect pit stop, that perfect pass, and that perfect win.
Every day they thank the good Lord for the family that supported them and for being able to live the American dream.
They never lost the desire to be the best, no matter what obstacles they had to overcome.
The more you hunger for something, the more that hunger grows and the more that fire burns.
I hope that when 1993 is over, that the people at Winston, the people at NASCAR, and the competitors all look back and say, we were proud to have him represent us as our champion.
Alan, Davey, all that we have shared has a piece of you in every thought. These words tell the story of your life. You made every moment count. Your earthly chapter has now been written, but your spirit will never let it close. You guys, from all of us, Godspeed.
This is such a beautiful time of the year here in New York City, the holiday season, and we have made our annual pilgrimage to the Waldorf Astoria Ballroom for the 45th annual NASCAR Winston Cup Awards Banquet. I'm Bob Jenkins. Benny Parsons is also here. Now, as I told you earlier, we're going to do as much of the banquet down on the stage as we possibly can. We will have to come back up here occasionally. We'll have to take some commercial breaks, but we hope to bring you as much of the on-stage presentations as we possibly can. Barney Hall is your host down there. He's about ready to hand out the Max Rookie of the Year Award.
Thank you, Bob, and welcome aboard to our ESPN viewers. Our next presentation goes to a driver that is no stranger to ESPN. Here to present the Max Race Card Rookie of the Year Award, please welcome Mr. George Moore.
It's my pleasure at this time to award a check for $25,000 to the 1993 Max Race Cards Rookie of the Year, Mr. Jeff Gordon.
Well, there's been some real high points this year, but this is definitely the highest point of my career to this point. This is an awesome award, and to receive the Max Race Cards Rookie of the Year is just a great honor. To be on a list of some great names and to be in some pretty good company tonight means a lot to me. But you know, it's been a great year, and the only reason that it's been such a great year, my first year in Winston Cup, is you know, it's because of great guys like my car owner Rick Hendrick. I mean, he's given me some great cars this year, and the resources they have over there just. You know, I couldn't ask for any more. They got a great group of guys over there. And Ray Evernham, you know, we just clicked right from the start, and I can't say enough for him. We're friends off the racetrack, and we just work very well together at the racetrack. And he's put together a lot of young, talented guys that get some experience. You know, we're really looking forward to the future. But I definitely got to thank Chevrolet. And most of all, my sponsor, DuPont Automotive Finishes, they've been very well to work with in my first year, and they're very, very much behind NASCAR racing, and I look forward to working with them for a long, long time. I'd just like to thank everybody. It's a great year, and congratulations to you, Dale, and thanks to everybody. Appreciate it.
That Jeff Gordon will someday be the NASCAR Winston Cup champion. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the NASCAR Winston Cup Awards Banquet. Well, Jeff Gordon just picked up the Max Race Cards Rookie of the Year award for his outstanding performance in the 1993 season. We talked with him during Speed Week. Let's talk to him again. What do you say? Let's get down to Dr. Jerry Punch, who's working the floor here tonight. Jerry?
Thank you very much, Bob Jenkins. Jeff Gordon is the 1993 Max Race Cars Rookie of the Year. And, Jeff, congratulations from all of us at ESPN. I got to ask you, there was Daytona, there was a Polish, Charlotte, 2 runner-up finishes. Was there something that just stood out in your mind as far as a great part of the year for you?
Well, I mean, there's so many things. I don't think I can pinpoint one. I mean, it's pretty hard to take away starting out the season like we did at Daytona, and that really stuck in our minds, I would say, more than anything throughout the year. But you know, again, to receive that pole at Charlotte, that was such a big night for myself, and we were shooting so hard for that I'd say those two just really, really stick out more than anything.
We talked to you earlier tonight on Speed Week. You were anticipating the award. Now you've gotten the award. You've been out on that stage. How was it out in front of all those folks in tuxedos and some of the world's biggest CEOs and corporate executives? Any nerves at all?
Oh, definitely. I was pretty nervous, and you know, I didn't really have a set speech, so I was just going to kind of go out there and wing it a little bit. I knew kind of what I wanted to say, but you know, we're in some pretty good company here, and to be a part of this whole ordeal, it's just really an honor for me.
Jeff, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We are live at the Waldorf Astoria here for the 45th Annual NASCAR Winston Cup Awards Banquet.
In 8th position in this year's standing is the 1988 NASCAR Winston Cup champion and the 1993 most popular driver, Bill Elliott.
In the closest points race ever, last year's NASCAR Winston Cup runner-up Bill Elliott was looking for the momentum of his Junior Johnson Budweiser Ford powerhouse to carry over into 1993. Unexpectedly, Bill's season had to wait until Atlanta for its first top 10. But throughout the summer stretch, this former NASCAR Winston Cup champion showed his versatility by scoring top 10 finishes on the super speedways of Pocono and Michigan and the twisty turns of Watkins Glen. Then, Elliott got serious about climbing up in the points. After assuring a start in the 94 Busch Clash with a pole at Talladega, Bill began a move from 15th to 8th in just 7 races, including his year's best finish, a second under the lights at Richmond. Bill secured his 10th trip here tonight by ending his season with 3rd, 5th, and 4th place finishes at Rockingham, Phoenix, and Atlanta. Word is that Awesome Bill is back. Please welcome the 1988 NASCAR Winston Cup champion, 8-time NASCAR most popular driver, and this year's 8th place finisher in the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings, behind the wheel of Junior Johnson's Budweiser Ford, from Dawsonville, Georgia, Bill Elliott.
Bill, congratulations on a strong second half of the season. 8th point for $109,609. Not bad. Appreciate it.
You know, RJR just keeps coming back with a lot of good things. They've been awful good for this sport for a number of years. You know, it's one thing I look back is in '88 when I won a championship, I won about $350,000, and then the next year Rusty wins it and he gets $1 million. I'm only a year too early, but you know, I still won the championship, and I guess that says a lot. But like I said, RJR has done a lot, and all the Winston folks. I really appreciate their support. You know, as far as Budweiser and all those people, they're the finest folks I've ever been associated with throughout my career. They've done a lot for me, and I look forward for a long association with them. Amoco, Ford Motor Company. You know, can't say enough about those people. Without the good cars to drive, without all the other good products, but still, you know, without the fans, NASCAR, and everybody else concerned, you know, this is a tough sport. It takes a lot out of you throughout a year. One way, we're glad the year is over, but there's always another year. And like I said, we appreciate everyone. Look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.
one big reason that Joe Gibbs Racing is where it is today is because of our association with Rick Hendrick and Hendrick Motorsports Engine. They took us under their wing kind of when we got started and said that they would rent us engines out of their shops. Randy Dorton, Rich Gilmore, and especially the head engine builder over there for us, the only man that's ever built the winning engine for the Indianapolis 500 and the Daytona 500, Mr. Rick Wetzel. We certainly appreciate everything that you've done for us. They kind of took us under the wing and treat us just like one of their teams, and we appreciate everything that you've done for us. You know, things got a little tough during the season, but everybody rallied around and kind of stuck together. And last and certainly not least, but our biggest thanks to Alan and Davey for a lifetime of memories that you've given us all. We know that you're now in a better place, but we certainly do miss you here and look forward to seeing you later on. Thank you.
For me. But echoing a lot of the thoughts that a lot of the drivers have said tonight, I don't think we never need to forget our fallen heroes, Davey Allison, Alan Quickie, Mark Brooks, Stan Duncan, Charlie Campbell, everybody, because we did the reverse victory laps, carried the flags in honor for them, and we meant it from the bottom of our hearts, and we'll miss those guys. Thank you very much.
I like the video. I like the song. Kicks, you have anything to do with that, buddy? Kicks and Ronnie Dunn, Brooks and Dunn's back here with us tonight, my buddies. Been hurrying all week long. Down up here in New York, running around doing press stuff. I'm going to slow down here and try to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Neil Bonnett for helping us test this year. He done a great job with that. He didn't do so good driving the cars, but he did okay on testing. Bad luck strikes us all, you know. But also, remembering our true champion, Alan was a true champion, Alan Kowicki, and our true friend, Davey Allison. He was a friend of mine. The best side of Davey I knew was the hunting and fishing side. We got together and it was really true fun. But my family, Teresa, she has to put up in my junk all the time, and that's tough to do. All my family, Kelly and Carrie and Dale Jr. and Taylor even, bring a lot of joy to my heart, and gets me through all this stuff. Hey guys, we're looking the next year, 1994. I think it's going to be good for us and a lot of us. It's going to be a competitive year. I wish you all a great holiday and a great 1994. It's going to be fun racing you rusty again. Darrell, don't give up. You ain't too old yet. I'm not retired until I'm 50, so don't give up, buddy. Thank you very much. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
There's a champion, Dale Earnhardt, winning a 6th Winston Cup title in 1993. The checks have been handed out, and now the partying really begins here in New York as the teams have gone to their respective suites and will probably be partying all night here in New York. And so with this, I guess we can officially bring to a close our coverage of NASCAR Winston Cup racing for 1993. But in 94, as Benny said earlier, we will be at Daytona for several events. We will have 14 telecasts. We're going to have, of course, our complement of Busch Grand National races, and Kyle Petty will be joining us in the booth for those. 1993 has been a great year. Thanks for you, Benny, and to Jerry and John and Ned and everybody. It's been a special year, an emotional year. But everyone who participated, to us, are heroes. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next year.
There's an you'll finally see